Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to be going over an FAQ that just came up today, actually just a few minutes ago, where there was a question: is Beta's adrenaline rush working correctly? The answer is yes. So Beta recovers himself and one teammate and then deals the 1200% damage to up to 2 enemies. It says we realize the order of the actions threw some players off, so we will be updating his AR description. And basically the difference is the AR is going to read the opposite way, where the damage comes after recovering from all penalties. So this is kind of an interesting change of events. And you know what? It's kind of a double-edged sword to me, because obviously him recovering from all penalties first means, if there's an attack down on him, he won't be impacted by that. Instead, he'll be at his normal attacking level. It means if there's defense down, it means if he's taunted, it means if he's normalized. There's so many things that this actually affects, and they're not changing anything that Beta is doing, because Beta has always worked this way. They're just making the description easier to understand so that players aren't confused when he ends up recovering penalties and then he rushes and applies damage after. So it's actually going to say this character and up to one teammate recover from all penalties, deals 1200% damage to 2 enemies. This update to the rush will be applied by the end of a week, so those of you be on the lookout for that. It certainly will be interesting, and just to showcase like how this is utilized, I'll just show some simple gameplay so you guys can understand what's actually happening, because it can be confusing at times, for sure. So I'm just going to show a simple example. I'm going to let Beta become normalized by Princess. So this turn, instead of rushing him, I'm just going to defend. I'm not going to be doing anything special with this. I just want to showcase how this actually affects Beta. So Beta is normalized and taunted, but we're focused, so we can attack. We're going to break some Guardian shields, and then when we rush with Beta, we're going to notice something kind of unique. Because he's currently normalized, we know his waist knot will not come into play. But because he's recovering first, the waist knot does work. As we see, because Pete actually took some damage there from the waist knot. So this helps with Beta attacking, but it also might need you to make some mod adjustments. So for example, I have crit damage on Beta right now. I do not want to be putting attack up when taunted, because I'm recovering from the taunt. So if I'm using Beta on a rush and I want him to be taunted to get the attack up bonus, well, he's never going to use it unless you only use basic attacks. Because if Beta rushes and recovers from taunt, this mod won't come into play. The same can be said for other attack up when situations. So you want to be aware of that. Like, you can definitely still use that type of mod, you just can't expect to rush with Beta. Based on Beta's overall attack, you could also just run the attack up when taunted mod, for example, and just not rush him. You could just wait for him to be taunted and he can apply a high amount of damage because he has a super high attack stat, and he'd be affected by this particular mod. You can still run attack up when impaired, for example, because if Beta is impaired, he's not going to rush irregardless of how much AP he has. So I would highly suggest for players who have Beta to really think about the mods that they're going to use on him, because if you want him to use those attack up bonuses, you have to be aware of when he will use them. As I mentioned, if he's recovering all penalties first, while attack up when slowed and attack up while taunted aren't exactly as effective if you plan on using them on his rush, because they will not impact his rush. Overall, I guess it seems more positive than negative, because the waist knot ability obviously is very powerful, especially when he's rushing at 1200% damage. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching and listening to my video. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions or comments about this, because I know it can be quite confusing at times.